In this beginner-friendly tutorial, you will learn how to set up a Cinemachine camera in Unity and make it smoothly follow your player. No coding required. We will tweak settings like dead zone and target offset to create professional-looking camera movement fast. Huge thanks to Alexandra for supporting me on Patreon. And if you are interested, you can join and unlock some exclusive benefits. Basically, many of exclusive benefits. Now let's jump in. To create the Cinemachine camera, we need to go over to Window in the top, then Package Manager, and then choose Unity Registry in the left side. Scroll down and find out Cinemachine. So I have the Cinemachine camera. Let's find that over here. So choose that and then click on this install button. I already installed it. You can see I can remove it. I'm not gonna remove that, and if you're not able to find, then search over here Cinemachine and it's gonna you're gonna get that. And once we done, we can cut this tab and we can just go over to hierarchy, right click, then go to Cinemachine in the bottom, then targeted cameras, and then choose this 2D camera. And now it's gonna create the Cinemachine camera. And if we go to Cinemachine camera component, tracking target, it says non-transform. So since we want to follow our player, so we're gonna take our player, drag it over to that slot called tracking target, and we can just play around with the zoom in and zoom out. And if we choose our main camera in the hierarchy, you can see a Cinemachine brain component added to our main camera. Basically, Cinemachine, this component added because Cinemachine camera just gonna give instruction to our main camera what it's actually really need to do. Let's suppose the player is moving to the right direction, then Cinemachine camera just gonna give our main camera instruction which is moving right. So that's why this component added, and the main camera just gonna move to the right direction or left direction depending upon which direction player is going. And now we can select our Cinemachine camera, and now what you have to do, go over to this Cinemachine position composer component and you can play around with the value. So the first thing, I'm gonna zoom in. So orthographic, I'm gonna little bit zoom in, something like 7 unit I guess. And I want to move my camera a little bit to the right direction, a little bit farther away, or basically the offset in the x-axis. To do that, we need to go over to this component. Then we can go over to target tracking, target offset, and we can play around with the number. So I'm gonna set it something like 3 unit because I just want to follow. Basically, I just want to move my camera to the right direction a little bit. And we can do the same thing with the y. We can just move it a little bit up, something just like this I want. So in the y, I'm gonna choose 1.8, and in the x, I'm gonna leave it to 3. And if we go ahead, play our game, if we try to move left and right, we can see our camera is moving with our player in which direction player is going. And with smooth, we can notice, and we can play around with the dead zone. Basically, let's suppose in this area I don't want to make my camera follow, but once our player just gonna surpass that area, then I want my main camera to follow. To do that, we basically need to play around with the dead zone. So choose your Cinemachine camera, then go over to the dead zone Cinemachine position composer component, and then we can just check this dead zone, and we can just play around with the limit. And you can see this area, if we try to move in this area, we can notice that in the y axis, I'm gonna do it in the y axis, I'm gonna do it 0, but in the x axis we can just increase the value. So let's make it something like this much, this much. And if we try to move by now, we can see in this area our camera is not following, but once we surpass this area, we are able to notice our camera started following our player. So basically the dead zone. And make sure you just out of play mode and remember the number, or you can just copy the number in play mode by clicking on these 3 dots, then go over to copy component and then paste that once you are out of play mode. Because whatever you're gonna do inside play mode, it's not gonna be saved or saved at all. So you need to make sure that. So I'm gonna check this dead zone, and in the y I'm gonna set it to 0 because I don't want anything in the y axis. Basically I want a smoothness in the y, but in the x I do want a little bit dead zone area, something around a place where I don't want my camera to follow, and we can play around with the number. So we can just increase it something this much. I'm gonna set it to something like 0.3, 0.3, and this area you can see the line in the y-axis. In this area our camera not gonna follow at all, but once we're gonna surpass or over here, then our camera just gonna start following our player. And we can play around with the damping. If you set in the x to something like 0, then our main camera just gonna follow our player rigidly, and if we set the y to 0 as well, then it's gonna do the same thing vertically.